Hi guys, welcome to our first of 4 Tantra practices. Now we've created these practices to allow you to connect with yourself, to build intimacy between yourself and your partner, and to get sexual energy flowing around the body. Now you can find any comfortable space in your house that feels good for you. We have a bolster, a blanket and some blocks, but you could use a duvet, cushions, pillows, books, whatever you have available. Now we're going to get started lying on our backs. So come down into a Shavasana type position. If it feels comfortable for you, just straighten your legs. If it doesn't, adjust your position however you need. And when you're lying down, allow your legs to open, feet dropping out, arms alongside your body. And bring your eyes to close or look down towards the floor if you prefer not to close your eyes. And just take a moment to arrive. Arriving in space and time. Connecting with yourself. Arriving right here, right now. Now in a moment, I'm going to start talking through different parts of the body. And when I talk about a specific part of the body, I'd like you to physically squeeze and then release that part. We're trying to isolate that part of the body, but if other muscles become engaged at the same time, don't worry about it too much. Eventually we will have squeezed and released the entire body, and then allowing the body to be soft and relaxed on the ground beneath. So starting with the left foot, squeezing it as much as you can, and then allowing the left foot to completely release and be heavy. Squeezing the left calf and allowing it to let go. Squeezing the left thigh, allowing that to let go as well. Squeezing the right foot and releasing. Squeezing the right calf, letting it go. Engaging the right thigh and softening. Now squeeze the left hand and release it. Squeezing the left forearm and letting it go. Squeezing the top of the left arm and relaxing once more. Squeezing the right hand and softening. Engaging the right forearm, letting it go. And then engaging the top of the right arm and relaxing. Engaging both the buttocks and releasing. Engaging the abdomen and softening. Activating the front of the body, the ribs, the chest, and letting it go. engaging through the back as much as you can, and softening. Activating the neck and letting it go. Squeezing the face and release. Now we're going to squeeze the whole body and keep it engaged for 5 seconds. Let's go. Squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let everything release down. Allow everything to be heavy as it drops deeper and deeper and deeper to the ground below. Just take a moment to observe the fluctuations of the breath, noticing the quality of the inhale and the consistency of the exhale. And we're going to try to deepen the breath now, perhaps bringing one hand on the belly, one hand onto the chest, maybe the collarbones. Breathing deeply into these spaces. On your inhale, allowing the body to expand. And on your exhale, allowing the body to soften. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, letting it go. Continue with this deep, full breath. Trying to breathe into all of the spaces within the body. Expanding on the inhale and softening on the exhale. Growing on the in-breath and releasing on the out-breath. Now keep that breath flowing. And as you breathe, try to slow down the breath. Stretch out the breath. Elongate the inhales. Exaggerate the exhales. And see if you can breathe in and out for a count of 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Keep this going. Keep this pace. Or if you notice any habitual tensing or tightening in the body, maybe breathe in and out for 2 instead. If you feel like you wish to take a deeper, bigger breath, then maybe extend it to a count of 6. Whatever count feels good for you. wherever the mind starts to wander, bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to the inhales and the exhales, the counting and the expanding and releasing. When you're ready, just allow the breath to return back to its natural rhythm and its neutral pace. Just noticing how the energetic body feels right now. When you're ready, very, very slowly, we're going to start to make our way up to seated. So coming up to seated however you wish. Moving slowly. And when you reach seated, you can come to a cross leg, you can come to kneeling. Whatever feels good for you, you can sit yourself on support. Ideally, if the legs are crossed, the knees are not lifting above the hips, because if this happens, you might end up leaning back and bring strain into your back. You want to find a comfortable seat where you think you'll be able to hold it for just around 5 minutes. So once you've found your comfortable position, rest the hands on the legs so you can face up or down. Allow your spine to straighten. And bring the eyes to close, or look down towards the floor if you prefer not to close your eyes. And just take a moment to settle here. Getting acclimatized to the seated position that you're now in. And I'd like you to start to imagine a long line of energy traveling from your genitals through the carpet or floor underneath you, through the building structure, into the earth and the ground below, continuing all the way down towards the center of the earth. Traveling past gravel, rocks, granite, all the way down to the earth's core. Just feeling this connection. Connecting you to Mother Earth. And when the mind wanders, bringing it back to this connection And you might imagine this energy channel visually. Or maybe you feel it. Or perhaps you hear it. And just acknowledging how you know that you're connected right now. And I'd like to invite you to start to send everything that doesn't serve you down through this energy channel, one by one. These might be emotions, they could be thoughts, or perhaps ill health, or anything else that starts to arise. And one by one, sending them down to the earth's core. And when they reach the earth's core, they turn into a fiery blaze. And then the fiery blaze starts to purify these negative thoughts, emotions, and turns them into something that you wish to gain more of. And once this transformation has taken place, they journey back up the energy channel, arriving into the body through the genitals. This is anything you wish to manifest, create, or gain. One by one, they travel up through the channel as they enter your body. And then when you're ready, allowing those ideas to start to drift away. As you re-find yourself back into this space. And bringing the hands to touch and start rubbing the palms together. Creating heat, creating warmth, maybe going a little bit quicker. And then keeping the eyes closed, bringing the palms of the hands over the eyelids. Blinking the eyes open and close a few times, getting used to the room and the light surrounding you. And when you think you're ready, allowing the arms to release. eyes are open and you're back in the space. And then you're going to turn to face your partner, seated however you wish. And we're just going to have a quick commitment ceremony. So what this means is each one of you in turn is going to voice out loud a commitment for today's practice or for the course as a whole. So you might say something like, I commit to practicing with you for the next 4 weeks, or I commit to being more intimate with you and with myself. And we're just going to sit here for a few minutes now, allowing you time to decide what you wish to say to each other and then voicing them out loud. And when you have both voiced what you would like to say each way, then you can just remain seated for a few moments before I guide you into the next exercise. Okay, so now we're going to move on to eye gazing. So for eye gazing, you have to get close enough so that you can hold hands. Okay, we're going to hold hands. What we'll do is we'll look into each other's eyes, and we're trying to look into each other's non-dominant eye. So Alexis is left-handed, which means I'll look into his right eye. And I'm right-handed, which means Alexis will look into my left eye. Now, even though we're going to stay looking in each other's eyes for the whole time, energetically, one person will be the giver and one person will be the receiver. Now, if you're the giver, you might send loving thoughts, you might imagine energy circling between you, you might just look and notice what starts to arise. And if you're the receiver, you're also looking, but with an energy of accepting and being open. So we don't need to move, nothing needs to change, it's just energetically, after a couple of minutes, I'll tell you to change over giver and receiver roles. So when you're ready, get close, holding hands, decide who will be the giver and decide who will be the receiver first of all. I'll be the giver, you can be the receiver. Looking into your partner's non-dominant eye, yes, you can blink, and if you're looking for quite a while, you might notice the images start to become blurry. That's completely normal as well. Let's begin when you're ready. going to swap over. Stay exactly where you are. Keep the eyes gaze going, but the giver becomes the receiver and the receiver becomes the giver. And when you're ready, you can allow your hands to release. So the next thing we're going to do is Kegels. So for Kegels, I'll just quickly talk you through it before we begin. It's going to be an engaging and the releasing of the pelvic floor. Those of you who practice yoga, it's like a Mula Bandha activation. What we'll do is we'll inhale deeply and full. At the top of the inhale, we'll engage the pelvic floor, the perineum. We'll exhale all the way, and when the exhale has finished, we'll release the muscles. So we inhale all the way up. At the top of the inhale, we engage. Keep the engagement as you exhale, and then when you finish the exhale, you release. Now you might find as time goes on, you have less control over these muscles. That's fine, that's completely normal. If you need to have a pause and then join back in after a moment, feel free to do so. Yeah, let's give it a go. So coming to seated however you find comfortable. We're going to do this for a few minutes. If you start to feel lightheaded at any time, then feel free to regulate the breath and allow it to return back to its natural rhythm and its neutral pace. Inhaling through the nose. Engage. Keep the engagement as you exhale through the nose, and then release. Through the nose, inhale. Engage. Keep the engagement as you exhale, and then release. Inhale. Engage. Exhale. Release. Inhale. Engage. Exhale. Release. Keep this going. As you keep this going, find your own pace of breath. Ideally, the breath will be long and slow. If you wish to make the breath longer than what we were doing, feel free to do so. And if the breath feels like a strain or a stress, make it shorter, but try to keep the long, full breath as much as possible. When you do engage and release the pelvic floor, try to isolate that area as much as you can. But if other parts of your body get involved, don't worry too much. And just keep it going. mind starts to wander, bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to the engaging and the releasing of the pelvic floor, perineal muscles. Keep the breath flowing. Keep the activation and the releasing. And when we engage and release the pelvic floor muscles like this, we allow erotic energy to start to flow around the body. This serpent kundalini energy. Just taking a few more rounds here. Really trying to keep that activation and the releasing. And taking a last round when you're ready. And when you finish your last round, allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm and its neutral pace. Okay. Now we're going to breathe together. So again, make sure you're close enough towards each other so that you can make contact. What we'll do, bring your right hand onto your partner's chest, and then bring your left hand on top of your partner's hand. So your right hand is on your partner's chest, and your left hand is on your partner's hand. Decide who will be the first person to start the breath count. Alexis will go first. What that means is he starts to set the pace of the breath. He's going to inhale and he's going to exhale. Now as he does that, with my hand against his chest, hopefully I can start to feel the breath. With looking at him, I might be able to see some movement, and I might be able to hear the breath as well. From using these cues, I try to breathe at the same pace as him. So he's leading and I'm following. After a couple of minutes, we don't need to move, we don't need to change hands. What we'll do is the other person will start to lead in their comfortable breath count. Don't worry if you can't breathe at the same pace as your partner. Maybe their breath is a bit too slow or long for yourself. But if you do notice you're leading and your partner can't quite keep up, try to adjust your breath. The idea is that we're breathing at the same pace. Okay. Having an eye gaze would be helpful as well. So you can take back the eye gaze you practiced before. Now stay exactly where you are. Keep the eye gazing if possible, but the other person starts to lead and the second person starts to follow. Then when you're ready, allow the arms to release. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to get seated in the yab-yum. In an ideal world, the person who's going to be the base is going to sit down with their legs crossed. Maybe come this way a little bit. And then the person who's going to sit on top will sit on the lap, wrapping the arms around the back. Now, if this doesn't feel comfortable, adapt it as much as you need. The base might want to straighten the legs forward. The person on top sitting on top. Or, person on top might sit back with the legs stacked on top if this finds easier. If you find another seated variation more preferable, feel free to do that now. Remember, you could use blocks, bolsters, cushions, duvet, whatever you have available to you. We'll be here for a few minutes, so you might notice your back is rounding. Ideally, the spine is straight to prevent you from putting strain into your back. So sitting yourself up on something might help to prevent that strain. Now we're going to take Thymus taps. This, again, helps to get erotic energy flowing around the body. And like usual, one person will be the giver and one person will be the receiver. I'll just talk you through it before we start. Now the Thymus is where the collarbones meet, and then you find a little ridge. Not too many clothes on. Okay, and you find a little ridge in the center. When you find the ridge where the collarbones meet, you go just below it onto the knobbly bit. And that's where the Thymus is, and that's where we're targeting. From here, what we'll do 27 times is we're going to take clockwise circles on this space. And after we've done 27 of them, with the left hand, the back of the left hand, we tap it 27 times. Okay, let's give it a go. So find your yab-yum position. Let's do the first one, legs first. Okay, with whatever hand you find comfortable, maybe your right hand if you're right-handed, find that space where the collarbones meet, find the ridge, and then just below the ridge. Okay, 27 circles, clockwise. Your partner can ask if you'd like to go with more pressure or less pressure, getting used to asking for what you want. When you have taken 20-second circles with the back of your left hand, try to find the same space and again take 27 taps, not too hard. And we're just going to wait for a few moments for you to catch up. And then when you're ready, you're going to swap over, so stay seated however you are. With the right hand, 27 circles clockwise, finding the Thymus, where the collarbones meet that ridge just below, taking 7 circles when you're ready, a little bit softer. Get used to asking for what you want with pressure, maybe with pace. And when you have finished your circles with the back of the left hand, finding the same space and tapping, not too hard. And when you've finished, we're just going to pause, allowing you to catch up for a few moments. Now the next thing we're going to do is going to be a foot massage. So you'll both have a turn, but decide who will be the giver and who will be the receiver. So get yourself comfortable so I can have one of your feet. You can lie down, you can sit up. Finding yourself as comfortable as you can lie down or sit up. You can pause the video and grab some oil or lotion if you wish. And we're just going to take a couple of minutes per foot. So deciding which foot you wish to take, and you can do any type of massage. You can go harder, you can go softer, you can do circular motions, you can mobilize the foot and the ankle. Whatever feels good for you, feels good for your partner. Again, this is a perfect place to start asking for what you want. So if you're the receiver, start to ask your partner more or less pressure, which part of the foot you would like to have massaged.
Can you rotate my ankle?
Starting to finish off with the foot that you have. And then swapping the feet when you're ready. Checking in with your partner, seeing how the pressure is, seeing what they would like on this side. Starting to finish up with the foot that you're on. And then swapping over. Again, get used to asking for what you want here. More or less pressure?
Is that good?
More pressure if you can. And then starting to finish up on the foot that you're on. And when you're ready, swapping to the other foot. Starting to finish up on the foot that you're on. And then when you're ready, you're both going to come down to lying on your backs, top and tail in. And then get close enough so that you can hold hands in the middle. So this is like your Shavasana position, but with hands holding. Arms alongside the body. Gravitate the chin down towards the chest. Allow the body to release and let go. Allowing yourself to completely surrender. Now starting to bring the awareness into the space, into your body and into your mind. Maybe wriggle fingers and toes. You can turn the head from side to side. You can reach the arms by ears, slide legs together. You can yawn or sigh. And then make your way up to seated. And you're going to give your partner a big hug, a kiss, say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Join us again next week for step 2, bringing the hands in prayer when you're ready, and namaste.
Namaste.